how it all ends. You know, when you think about it, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that's happened before will happen again. There's nothing new under the sun. What does that mean? And you ever heard of the statement, history does not repeat, but it rhymes, right? So meaning that, it may not be the exact same scenario, but it has similarities in order to be fit into a certain outcome type, if you understand what I'm saying. So you have these situations that's developing on every level of society. And it ain't it's not hard to ascertain where we're going. What is the outcome of situations like this? What is the outcome of this? Or what is the outcome of that? What's the outcome when nations start implementing trade wars and currency wars? What happens next? Does it happen? It always happens differently, but you got the same course. What happens when two people continuously are beefing? And these two dudes are on the block. What eventually happens in that situation? What happens when a government prints excessive amounts of money? What happens when you have corruption at the highest levels? What happens? What is the outcome? Any scenario that you can see of controversy, calamity, depravity, immorality, all of these things you can look at and see in history how these things have played out before. So when I look at any situation, I look at history and I say, well, this is what happened to this individual, groups of individuals, governments, nations, corporations, when they began to do these things, and they perpetuate these things. What is the outcome? What do you see happen in this situation? And what are scenarios in which these situations come to a head? See, it's all there. It's all there. There's nothing. What happens when you get with a treacherous woman? What happens when you get with a treacherous man or a pookie? What happens? It's all there. So when we look at the outcome, and then we look at the person, and then we look at history, it's no longer a surprise. Why? Because there's nothing new under the sun.